we're now beginning to ask ourselves, how do we learn how to think in a more sophisticated way about culture? Maybe I ought to ask another question. What is culture? What do we mean by that? Why is it important? You hear this concept all the time, nuestra cultura, right? What do you think that means?
I'd say it's the norms that surround it.
Okay, norms, habits. What else? What is it? What's really important about culture?
Tradition.
Tradition. Anything else?
Identity.
Identity. All right. When we are concerned about culture, those of us who are parents and grandparents, what are we really thinking hard about?
Values.
Values. Our identity, values,
Legacy.
yeah, but what about children?
Yeah,
Way of life. Yeah, the beliefs, their formation. What do we mean by that, formation?
forming of beliefs and values.
Yeah, how you form, okay. The kind of person you become, okay? And the word we often use for that is growing the soul. Now, there was a guy named Denby, writes for the New Yorker magazine, wrote an article called The World Turned Upside Down. And he said in the article that to raise children today, you have to be a bully, because you're always having actions run on you. You know, the children are always organizing themselves against their parents. Okay, well, you know, I want this toy because my friends have it, or I want to do this because they do it, okay? So they're always kind of leveraging their peers against you as a parent. So the point he's making is that what that does is for most folks, because of their isolation, they're disconnected, is that most kids become customers and consumers long before they ever get formed and shaped as a person. Long before they grow the soul. I'm going to now go back in time, because when we first started organizing, none of that mattered. The only thing that mattered to me was that there were people who were poor, there were people who were have-nots, and I wanted to organize the have-nots against the haves to get some of what the haves had. The way I saw it growing up in San Antonio was the west, the south, the east side flooded every time it rained. Our schools were underfunded, okay? Our neighborhoods had no parks, we had no libraries, and people north, okay, then of 410, they had everything. And so when I grew up in San Antonio, there were 200 adults who were organized against me. There were 200 adults who cared about me, understood me, felt some worship of me. In Los Angeles, and that's what I'll say, it's not 200 adults against one kid. It's 50, 70 kids organized against every adult that adults live under house arrest, ready to go out. So the point is now, we began to see that there was a cultural change going on. And that cultural change going on undermined my analysis of the have-nots versus the haves. And I think about organizing in a different kind of way.